Hello everyone, you're watching the Savera and I'm Pavit Kaur. Punjab politics is going through a storm. With the elections approaching in 2027, there is a lot of that is going around in Punjab politics. If we talk particularly about the ongoing things that are taking place in Punjab politics, the number one thing that is getting everyone's eyeball is the Sacrilege law. Then there is Bikram Majithia's arrest, and then there are a lot many things that we will be talking about the law and order situation in Punjab. Everyone is raising questions on Punjab's law and order. So right now with me I have senior advocate Pradeep Virk, with whom we will be talking about the Sacrilege law, whose draft was presented in Punjab's Special Assembly. But what is this Sacrilege law? How it is going to be important for the Punjabis out there? Let's have a word regarding the same with Advocate Pradeep Virk. Pradeep Virk ji, first of all, you have been an IPS officer and now you're on the judicial side of the system. I want to understand, how do you see what is, because right now there is a lot of things that are going in Punjab politics with the 2027 elections approaching, and now this Sacrilege law getting a green light from the assembly out there. How do you see at this point of time the Sacrilege law coming into action?
Ma'am, everything has a history that always has to be taken into consideration whenever any issue is to be, whenever a new law is to be enacted, or whenever any issue is to be taken into consideration. Now, in this case, let us see the history of sacrilege itself first. Punjab is not just my home state, it's practically my home. I live in Chandigarh, but I belong to Punjab. A fire in Punjab will automatically burn not only the state but the entire country. Because Punjab is a land where people live in harmony, cutting all religious and other lines. If we look at it objectively, I personally feel sacrilege was practically unheard of in Punjab. All these years prior to 2015 incidents, sacrilege was unknown. And post those incidents, which till date have not seen the conclusion of investigation, thanks to all the governments that have come, and instead of focusing on Punjab, have focused on playing politics, we have nothing but sacrilege as a problem for our country, for our state, and for our everyday life. Sacrilege, if we look at the word, because of which I'm looking at the requirement for enacting a law. 2015, sacrilege is committed. It is not the Sikh people who sit on a dharna. There is no communal angle to it. All people from all religions got together and started a crusade seeking justice. I, being a Sikh, carry the pain in my heart that our Guru was given such a treatment and we could not get him justice. The politicians have chosen to enact a new law. I do not give any weightage to any such enactment, because this enactment, I feel as a lawyer, is a farce. Let us look at the fact of the sacrilege incidents that took place. 1st June, first the theft takes place, then the sacrilege is committed on 12th of October 2015, and on 14th October, the police open fire on the public that is seeking justice. So, all these are a part of the sacrilege incident, because of which the new law is being enacted. Now, let us look at the things objectively. Have the investigations been concluded? Have the investigations been taken to their logical conclusions and the trial started? No. All the political parties have come into power and left. So the political firmament, you'll find, is there because is brimming with all politicians having made false promises. That is the worst part which we come across in this entire issue of sacrilege. After 10 years also, we do not have investigations which are concluded. Trial can start only once the investigation gets concluded. The challan becomes a final report. Now, if you look at law, clarification needs to be given to your viewers. because it's an intricacy of law. What we commonly refer to as challan is referred to legally as the final report. In CRPC, you will find the word final report under section 173. Now, final report means a report on the conclusion of investigation. There is a provision of supplementary challan, a supplementary report under 173 clause 8 of CRPC. That is there only and only to be filed when there is new evidence, oral or documentary. It is not that you can say we have the investigation to be conducted, we have not concluded the investigation, yet we are filing the final report. That report is not a final report. So that is not the provision of law to be invoked in cases of filing of supplementary charge sheets or supplementary challan. The final reports in these cases have not been filed till date. There is no new evidence that has come up. Despite that, so much so that one case got transferred, the Bebel Kalan case has been transferred from Faridkot to Chandigarh. The other case of Kotkapura police firing case has not been transferred. It is the state that has been seeking an adjournment repeatedly, getting it delayed even after 9th April 2025. The special leave petition before the Honorable Supreme Court filed by the state was dismissed on the very first hearing, upholding the transfer of case from Faridkot to Chandigarh. Now, I feel as a lawyer there is nothing left. They should have conceded outrightly that yes, now the order has attained finality, so let the other case also come. They have not conceded to that. Now the date is for 23rd of July. So when on one hand the state is ensuring that the trial is not started by concluding the investigation, and the state is proceeding to get the trial also delayed by not getting the case transferred, where arises the need for a new law? Now come to the new law. This new law contains a mention of courts, special courts. Right. Where is the provision for a time-bound investigation? What are we suffering from? We are suffering from a time-bound investigation. It is not, any process of law that has to be initiated, you have to first give a complaint. Give a complaint, the police will register an FIR and investigate. As per the new law that BNSS, what has to be done is an inquiry has to be conducted. But first you give a complaint and the police springs into action. Now this new enactment that the government is boasting of has intentionally been enacted, I feel, by omitting the entire aspect of investigation. It just says a DSP rank officer will investigate at least. Now in this case, where is the time-bound investigation? If somebody commits sacrilege, let us say, and he knows that there will be no conclusion of investigation for a period of 20 years, would death sentence have any impact? So the same thing will apply now.
So who do you blame here? Do you think it is the investigation which is taking too long, or do you think it is the government who over the year have been trying to protect the person who were involved in these sacrilege issues or who were being found guilty in the particular cases?
Ma'am, look, let us take an example at the people who are found guilty. The police officers who are facing prosecution in these police firing cases. How many cases are there against them? What action has the government taken against them? You will find they are also to quite a great extent being protected by all the governments, because I'm having cases against almost all of them, or at least two of the senior most officers out of them, and many cases against them I'm fighting. So that's how I know that the government is practically supporting them. Not this government only, even the previous government and the government prior to them also. So 2015 onwards, these officers are being protected. Now, what is the interest of the government? Why are they protecting? I don't know. And second, if what I'm saying is wrong, let any person from the government come and say that we have directed that investigation will be concluded within a week. Or let them give an explanation why, even after 3.5 years, the investigations have not been concluded. I can just tell that if there is something before me in black and white. That is when the lawyer's role comes into play. When things come to the court, when the things are not coming to the court, it is obviously a delay by the government. It's only when the things come before the court that we can say that the process of justice has started. The courts which are getting blamed every day for delay. Now, just see a very interesting development that has taken place even regarding the courts. Generally, any case that comes to the court, a period of 5 years is given for that particular court, unless there is a special law enacted providing for an expeditious trial. If in 5 years the trial is not concluded, it is put in an action plan cases list. Then the judges are duty bound to give short dates, which they do. So the judiciary has in fact started a trend of expediting trials. It is only the police investigations that have gone unchecked, and it is not the police is intentionally delaying it. Obviously, the political bosses are well aware of it, and it is on their directions that it is evidently being delayed. I am not against any particular government. It is not that the Aam Aadmi Party has done it only. Even during the Badal government, 2015, that I would refer to, they changed their own DGP. I have not come across any explanation anywhere where they would have pointed out or admitted or stated why they changed Sumedh Singh Saini as the DGP. Now, the antecedents of Sumedh Singh Saini or Paramraj Umra Nangal are well known to your viewers also. 5 years, the Congress government was there, 2 different chief ministers, several different DGPs, yet investigations not concluded. So, obviously, it's wrong to blame the DGP for that. The DGP will be doing what the government wants, but the issue is, what does the government want?
So, do you think that this particular law, which the government is trying to bring on, is an eyewash?
Obviously, it's apparently not going to succeed. It's not just an eyewash. It is whether the government has applied its mind or it is an unintentional omission.
Can we call it a political vendetta at this time, because the 2027 elections are also approaching, and there has to be an issue where a sentimental thing is connected, because we are well aware that in Punjab people are very much connected to their religious roots, and they are quite emotional on the things, particularly if we talk about Indians, that people get very much connected when it comes to the religion.
Ma'am, I would not call it vendetta, because non-conclusion of investigations and enactment of special law to ensure that investigations are not time bound would not be vendetta. But then the issue would be to mislead the public. Maybe they've done it for that reason, that the government can answer. I do not exceed my legal parameters and explain what the government is doing and why is they doing, especially when I don't know what is their actual intention. But I, as a lawyer, and more than that, as a human being, would like to clarify one fact, which your all viewers would, I'm very sure, be in agreement with. Our gurus have given us a path, a way of life. Any political leader who feels they can play politics with using religion as their base and in the name of our gurus is badly mistaken. We are a nobody, but our gurus, you are messing with those who have given us our way of life. If you feel, if any politician or anybody else feels that politics in the name of guru will give them success, they are mistaken. Our gurus had already blessed the leaderships all through that kept coming into power. That is why when they came into power, they were given a chance that rectify the wrongs that have been done. Not having done those, not only changed the government, but even gave a new government, Aam Aadmi Party, to come into power. And today, just see, even some leaders like Amritpal or others who could not win an election for 20 years are back in the saddle. Amritpal could win an election from the prison. So the reason behind that is obviously the unrest with the public. That unrest was never there in Punjab. That unrest has arisen because the people have been attempted to be befooled repeatedly by all the governments. And this is a very dangerous trend. This is a fire that has been started, and it needs to be checked and controlled right now, because religious sentiments should never be played with. And I, as a human being, feel that our gurus have always blessed us. They have blessed this land. Let us make it worth living. Let us make our lives exemplary in the name of our gurus, serving them, not going against them. We do not possess that caliber, that power, and we never will, to go against the wishes of our guru. So if any political leader also feels that playing politics in the name of Guru will help them, they are mistaken. Our gurus have always stood for justice. They are the ones who will ensure that justice is done. So that is why I will only request that these new laws and all such similar enactments will never give any benefit unless and until the previous investigations are concluded, the guilty are brought to book urgently, and then you will find the governments actually benefiting because they would be working for the benefit of the public, not otherwise.
Right. So, this last question, and I would like to conclude with it. Given your experience, and particularly your experience since 2015 in the Sacrilege cases, which came into the limelight, I would really try to understand here that what challenges do you think would be there in implementing this new Sacrilege law? As you said that the courts are doing the inquiry perfectly, but there is a delay in the inquiry that is taking place in the police things or in the investigation which are taking prior to the court hearing. So what do you think there would be the challenges? Because we are talking about setting up the courts, separate courts for these kind of issues, but what do you think what are the loopholes in this entire system which need to be fixed?
The loophole primarily would be to ensure that the investigations are conducted in a time bound manner and are concluded and charge sheets filed within the specified time frame. The provision of supplementary challans should not be misused. Now, with these things not being there in the new law, I have every apprehension that the new law would be a success. This is only sticking to the legal parameter. If the government wants it to succeed, this is the only option they have to ensure. That is plugged, I think the law would be well there because the person would know. Let me give you a simple example. For example, if you're traveling in Chandigarh, you don't wear a seat belt. You know that a beautiful photograph would come from a traffic camera and this message would come on your mobile that there's a challan issued, and a photograph with a challan would come 1 month later. When you know that it has been done so effectively and so quickly, you ensure that you obey the traffic rules in Chandigarh. That is the difference. That is why effective investigation also has to be a speedy one.
Thank you so much, Advocate Pradeep Virk, for all this information. So this was Advocate Pradeep Virk who said that this new law will only be beneficial if the investigations are done in due course of time, so that the people who are being found guilty in the sacrilege cases will be dealt with. With Sumit, this is Pavit Kaur for the Savera Times.